stories. uh, it's not the kind of instrument that I normally play, kalimba or marimba, back home we call them ngoma ya debe. But many people play it. Achila from Uganda used to play it. Jaco Bako from Cameroon too plays this. Moyo plays this. Rhino to Mtamba plays this. I think what's his name? Teach to Mareza plays this. It's a beautiful instrument for people knowing, especially if you are learning. If you want to know more deep about African music, you can buy these. They have African music stores around here in Toronto, especially if you go to the market in Kensington too. You can find there's a guy named Seiko who sells African stuff, and you'll find that store. It's just on Dundas, south of Augusta. Anyway, African music is music of our mothers. Because when babies cry, you see, the mothers sing, and that became, in fact, music, and we call it blues. In the West, they call it blues. Those melodies of the blues came from the cries of the babies and songs of our mothers a long time ago. And during the slavery and transatlantic slavery which took place, descendants Africans who were shipped to the West later, after several years, they developed those melodies, singing those songs, even in hymns, but they come from our African culture, and the rhythms also, and the drums also, even how they used to sing their gospel and played music before. Even if you hear the old gospel, how they used to sing and how they played, how they sang their songs, praising God, was wonderful, and it was very, very strong, because they sang with the truth of the heart, and because of the problems they felt in the fields, in the farms that they worked for their bosses who were enslaving, for the slave masters. Anyway, after quite a long time, over 500 years of slavery in the West, the blacks developed, they had musicians also, they became politicians, they are also mechanics, they are engineers, and tradesmen also. They had farms also later, and they traded also. They moved across these lands, and in fact they came to be together with the Aboriginal people who original people of the West, and they were like brothers, because they all faced the same kind of problem from their bosses, from their boss, who was a European settler who settled in the West. So the music travels also in human beings in different ways, and African music is not only here, in the West. No, even the Middle East is African music in Europe, because African descendants there, they ended up there too. In fact, my friend used to play saxophone for me in my band. He is Russian, he came here. His name is Yefim Medvedev. He played with Bolshoi Symphonic Orchestra in Russia. This is a big orchestra known which played in front of Putin, and maybe all his people. So Yefim later when he migrated to Canada and stayed as a refugee, I met him playing music in the subway, and I called him to come and play with my band. And I asked him where he's from. He told me he's from a place called Georgia. I don't know, Georgia or something like that. But he was a Russian Jew. He played the saxophone very, very lovely. He was like my best friend in the band, and he was a very quiet person. He was a grown-up man. He was very quiet, and he played very beautiful saxophone in my band. He recorded. In fact, if you wanna hear his saxophone, you have to find my album Safari. He played on that album, Efim Medvedev. This is a man from Russia, and the way he played, it sounds as if he was playing with African bands already. He's an African the way he plays. I didn't. All I had to tell him was, I'm playing this song on this chord, and because I already could hear his playing was already what I wanted. It sounds exactly, it intersects with our music, and Efim played very beautiful saxophone in my band. I don't know if you have a picture of him here. I have a picture of him somewhere here. Takes me a minute. Efim Medvedev from Russia. Him, saxophone player. This is original Tikisa band. My first band, Tikisa band here. This is me. This is Kofiaka. This is Mohammed Teddy Boy. This is Wael Haji El Amin. That is, everybody knows him. Walid Abdul Hamid. And this is Efim Medvedev. And we were 6-piece band. This is also another story in my musical life, which I'll come and tell sometimes when the time comes, when I'm going to be talking about my career here in Canada, and how I got I mean, I've spoken sometimes, because the first time when I got here, I met Tariq Abaka. Tariq came. I was performing with my group, Mombasa Roots, and he had us talk. We played there, and so we talked, and we became friends. And he told me he was working in a studio, Jazz Studios, which was on Queen Street, Queen and Ossington, 6 Ossington, I think so. So the studio used to be of Bob Simpson, who is a Jamaican, and Bob used to would be there with his wife and his kids, and also there Jojo Barnett from the Satellites band used to be there. Jojo, Fred Locks Asher, Ruben Kwabena and his brother, those two brothers, and of course they were there with their wives. Levite used to be there, and Sister Julie and their kids also. Even some of their kids, even I remember seeing them there. I've seen even some of them who now some of them have grown up, big guys. Anyway, it was a time of its time. At Jazz Studios, Tariq used to work there as he was helping in engineering, like he would sound or connect stuff for the band and record the band. He had mastered how to record and capture a band, but he was not like the guy who was gonna be doing mixing. No, he just knew a few stuff. He just knew simple stuff, and so he could record a band, and then Bob Simpson and the other guys will come and do mixing and stuff like that So he was also trusted for that, and he was given free time there at the studio so that he also could do his own stuff as a return for thanks for that, because Bob will stay at the studio until maybe 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. He wants to go home. He has to leave with his wife and kids. So Tariq will stay there the whole, take the whole night shift up, because the studio musicians will come there, either the rehearsing or the recording. It was busy every day, every night. So they'll be recording maybe from 10 or 11. They'll go up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. By that time, and then we live with Tariq. We walk, Papa, slowly, Papa, we're going to West Lodge. That's where we had an apartment there. We used to be roommates. So we did that for quite a time. Also, who was here with me was Sulem Kali. He used to sing. He sing with us in Mombasa Roots, and we stayed together here. So Sulem Kali, we started rehearsing together with Tariq, and then we met a lady from Uganda. Her name is Mary Duku. So Mary Duku, we talked with her, and that time in Toronto, there was no African bands here. There were a few, what you call, maybe 1, 2, 3 people playing together in a Ethiopian restaurant doing club music for weekends, and then they'll move to another place. It depends, and sometimes they change musicians. So they did not. They were not like recording musicians who wanted to do recording. No, at all. They were to improve, or maybe and go out, or to get their names known in the radio, or have anything to do with the media, or getting themselves making profiles. No, it was just for them, it's just playing to make a little money from the restaurant, and that's it, and drinking, and maybe it's food, go home, they make their money, they go and sleep. They didn't care about doing even their own music. Even if they did their own music, maybe a star comes from somewhere else who is known, they come and play with them, and it goes. So, and they were Ethiopian and some Somalian also. In the community also, there were people who also used to do that, but they were not like serious musicians. What I mean, like they only did once in an occasion, like if there was a special occasion in their community, then they'll go and call a guy, and it would just be one person, maybe with an organ, and they play there and sing on one play thing, or maybe has a cabin. It's a 6 like a banjo, it is for 4 strings, and the wood, they play and sing there, and they'll dance and clap So it wasn't that very serious. And then all they'll go and record music and use complete a full song, and then this guy just comes on the stage. He just has a mic and he sings with the music, and really, and the community people are packed like that. I've seen the Somalian community. There's no band on the stage. It's only one person. He has got a mic, and he has a tape. Those a tape or a CD in the player, and it played, and there were speakers, and people would dance here. And then they had a DJ, and they paid a lot of money. Maybe they paid like $100 or $50 to go there. And this is a hall. I'm saying it's carrying maybe like 3,000 or 5,000 people inside there. So I have also played with people like that. One guitar, maybe a drum, or maybe sometimes when not drum, they're using a drum machine. It's just a singer, and they've got something programmed there with a keyboard player, and that's it. You are three people. So music like that, I didn't. To me, I don't take it as serious. I mean, it's, yes, you are making money from this easy stuff, but your name is still not. You are not in the media. Nobody knows you, except you are not known international. You are only known in this small pool. But I wanted to a big pool. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not a small pool for me. If a small pool, I will stay in Africa. My country, although there was a lot of ignorance, especially in even now. There's ignorance in Kenya about the Kenyan producers, and that is very, very bad, because they don't really. A Kenyan musician have to fight in order to get to promotion or to get known. He has to fight in order to do recordings, and he has to fight a Kenyan musician to promote himself or to promote the Kenyan musician, even in some of the medias, because they are some of the people who are doing promotion of music there. They don't really play that much or quantity of the Kenyan musician, and they will play a lot of music quantity from outside, especially from Congo or Tanzania. But the thing is that when I used to be there, see me, I used to be associated with a musician union, and I used to work with people who knew about music business, and so they told the government of Kenya those days. I'm talking legends like Fadhili William. I'm talking legends like Daudi Kabaka. I'm talking about legends like Fundi Konde. I'm talking legends like Johnny Nzenze. All these people, they stood up together. Joseph Kamara. All these people stood up together and said no to the Kenyan government. I said this cannot be, because Kenyan music has to be played first. First Kenyan music, and then the rest follows behind. So that means they could play a quantity of Kenyan music, let's say like 80% and 20% music from but the local quantity has to be 80%, and from out 40%. In this case, it's not really after all these legends passed away, and some of them stopped doing what they were doing. And presidents and governments changed, and after changes and changes, so all these things disappeared, and some of the musicians who were there before passed away. Some of them are not there anymore, like me. I'm out. Those who are remaining there too, after they've been swarmed up with the politics and modern things and changes, they forgot all things are too much for them. They don't know about these things. But the important thing is that in any nations, the quantity of music that should be played it should be from the local musicians who are in that country, because first of all, the revenues will be going towards the royalties of these musicians who are local. So you want to build them. You don't want to send, you don't want to be taking 80% from out and playing music 80% from out and then 20% only from here. And then musicians here don't make anything. And then you're saying that, oh, musicians are this and this. No, it's because you are doing that to them by doing that, by playing 80% music from out and not playing 80% from local musicians. Then you are killing the musicians, and then you are saying that they are not doing good. Because first of all, a musician to do good also, you have to know that they have to make money, they have to make living. That living helps them in to relax and be able to do things. So if you are not playing their music and you're playing 80% from others, and you're expecting this 20% is going to help these other musicians, no, that doesn't work that way to me. And so